Hi guys, welcome to our webinar. So today's webinar, before today's webinar, let's just give a proper introduction on what this topic is and how we're going to conduct this. So before this, I want to tell you guys a good story. The story is about a person called as PTJ. He's a modern legend, and his name is Paul Tudor James. So what made him one of the most interesting trader in 1980s is that PTJ back in 1980s, he was busy tracking trading markets. In a world of big size computers with small computing power, PTJ and his associates had taken a keen interest in data and graphs. One particular data set had made him lose his sleep though. The entire decade of 1980s seems to have some sort of correlation with the decade of 1920s. This wasn't a normal correlation. It was almost an exact replica of the decade. If this was to be followed for the rest of 1980s, it could imply a small high followed by a small high followed by a terrible crash, just like that of the Great Depression in 1929. And we all know about the Great Depression of 1929 because that actually destroyed most of the economies back then. PTJ was completely awestruck by his findings and finally took that legendary trade, putting a vast amount of money that would have wiped his company off the face of American financial system. Paul bet on the popular idiom, history repeats itself. And guess what? History did repeat itself. The crash of 1980s made PTJ a legend and his trades a constant source of fascination in the financial world. Constant source of fascination in the financial world, so much that a documentary with the name Trader was released on this very part of Paul's life. So, with this story, I welcome you all to yet another episode of Decoding Markets. So, what are we going to do here? Here we what we do is we help the layman's understand finance through the lens of the experienced traders. Today's topic is trading with data. The speaker is Yash Golank, a wonderful trader with more than 3 years of rich experience in trading interest rate futures. This webinar is brought to you by Tradia, a group of traders who help each other understand financial markets in association with our great partner, PixU, a social media platform that enables you to take better financial decisions. So, without wasting any more time, I now invite Yash to deliver his webinar. Yash, I would, yeah,
Yeah. Hello, Lalit. Can you?
yeah, you're audible.
Yeah. Thanks for the introduction, first of all.
Mhm. And welcome
Hello,
to the
guys. I'm
platform.
Yash Golank. Yeah, thanks a lot. I'm Yash
Uh,
Golank. I've been working with Axela since the past 3 years, trading in the European and US markets, and since the last 2 years in Indian markets also. During this experience, even I've seen some ups and downs in my career, and I can tell you by my experience that even I learned during the process the concepts that I would like to talk to you all about today. तो कई बार ऐसा होता है कि most of us are actively trading or maybe investing, and most of us are looking out at some WhatsApp groups, some really good discussion platforms, maybe Twitter. Some are looking at CNBC, but they work. Most of them work, but many a times ऐसा भी होता है कि we get caught really very badly in some moves. चाहे वो फ्यूचर एंड ऑप्शन ट्रेडिंग में हो कि एक तरफ से मार्केट बह गया, हम फंस गए उसमें, या फिर एक तरफ मार्केट निकल गया और हम उसको पकड़ नहीं पाए अच्छे मूव को. जैसे कि काफी लोग थे जिन्होंने मार्च के डिप को पकड़ नहीं पाए. जून में जब मार्केट हमारा ऊपर आ गया काफी नेगेटिव टर्म्स में, काफी लोगों को लगा कि लॉस ही रहेगा कंटिन्यू, कोविड से इकोनॉमी तो ऊपर आने नहीं वाली. But there were many indicators which suggested that yes, this is the time to buy. Though we couldn't catch the dip, but this is also an amazing trend to ride. वो चीजें कैसे पता चलेगी? So there are some indicators that I think can help you all. It has helped me personally to catch this trend this time. And as Lalit said about Mr. Paul, this is very true. History does repeat itself in the markets. And data is something that you can completely rely on. चाहे आप किसी के recommendation पे rely कर ना पाए, आप हमेशा उसको cross verify कर सकते हैं. अगर आपको data tools in some mild form आपको use करना आए या उसको फर्क ना आ जाए, आपको confirmation मिल सकता है एक तरीके से. So I'll share my screen. Just a second. Is it visible, Lalit? The presentation? Hello, Lalit? Okay, just a second, I'll start. So yeah, so that's what I would call this trading with data. So the topics that I would like to cover today would be FII positioning. That's the first. Second would be open interest and volume. Third is market breadth. And fourth is put call ratio chart. ये चार ऐसे टॉपिक्स है जिसमें मुझे लगता है कि इंसान को पता चल सकता है कि मेजर पोजीशनिंग मार्केट में किस तरफ से है जो एफ आई आई लेते हैं विच इज फॉरेन इंस्टीट्यूशनल इन्वेस्टर्स. ये वो इंस्टीट्यूशंस है जो जर्मनी, यूएस, जापान एंड ऐसे काफी डेवलप नेशन में, फॉरेन नेशंस में ह्यूमंगस अमाउंट ऑफ कैपिटल से इंक्लूड करती है अपने कंट्री में एंड दे रियली हेल्प टेक अ वेरी गुड रैली इन द मार्केट. As well as when they are pulling out the money, historically I've seen the market also stops going up and up. Then there is open interest. So open interest is also a very beautiful concept. इसमें आपको पता चलता है कि मार्केट में किसका क्या व्यू है, कितने लोग उस व्यू को एक्सप्रेस कर रहे हैं. थर्ड है मार्केट ब्रेथ. मार्केट ब्रेथ से आपको पता चलता है कि ट्रेंड किस तरफ है मार्केट का. क्या हम जो देख रहे हैं निफ्टी आज ऊपर गया है लेकिन शेयर मेरे ऊपर नहीं जा रहे, रिलायंस ऊपर जा रहा है, निफ्टी ऊपर जा रहा है, लेकिन मेरे पास जो स्टॉक्स है 10 के 10 नीचे पिटे पड़े हैं. फोर्थ इज पुट कॉल रेशियो चार्ट. उसमें वैभव जैन ने लास्ट टाइम ऑप्शंस पे लिया था कंसेप्ट, तो उसी को यूज करके कि ऑप्शंस में किस तरह से पोजीशनिंग है और इस तरह से काम हो रहा है मार्केट में ऑप्शंस में, हमको पता चल सकता है कि निफ्टी का फ्लो किस तरफ रह सकता है, डायरेक्शनल फ्लो. सो आई फर्स्ट स्टार्ट विद एफआईआई पोजीशनिंग. So FIIs have been investing in the market since the start. 1980s बोलो, 90s, हमेशा उन्होंने अच्छे बड़े मूव्स लाए हैं मार्केट में. जैसे कि जब गवर्नमेंट ने न्यूक्लियर टेस्टिंग किया था फर्स्ट टाइम इंडिया में, सो द नेक्स्ट डे FIIs पुल्ड आउट ऑल द मनी एंड द मार्केट क्रैश रियली बैड. या फिर आप बोलो कि जब मार्केट्स को हमने ओपन कर लिया था फॉर फॉरेन डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट, तो तभी FIIs ने काफी अच्छी रैली पिकअप कराई थी मार्केट में. So FIIs have always have a very good move getting in the market. और उसको पकड़ना is always in our favor. Just a second, someone wants to come. Yeah. So FIIs, why are they so massive and why does they have a so much big impact in the market? तो पहली बात है कि force काफी heavy है उनका. The order sizing and the position that they are taking, it's like more than enough to move the market. So हमेशा हमें उसी ट्रेड डायरेक्शन में रहना चाहिए जिसमें एफआईआई पोजीशन अपनी बिल्ड कर रहे हैं. तो सेक्टर हो या ब्रॉडली कोई निफ्टी या बैंक निफ्टी ट्रेडर है, इधर पे इसमें क्या करना है, पोजीशनिंग कैश में भी लेते हैं एज वेल एज डेरिवेटिव पोजीशन में भी लेते हैं थ्रू फ्यूचर्स एंड ऑप्शंस. सो देयर आर टू थिंग्स, नेट लॉन्ग है या नेट शॉर्ट है. दे आर बाइंग एंड सेलिंग ऑन अ डेली बेसिस. एफआईआई की पोजीशनिंग होती रहती है इन एफएनओ मार्केट, बट एवरी डे का नेट लॉन्ग या नेट शॉर्ट दैट मैटर्स. एंड व्हाट मैटर्स मोर इज विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू द प्रीवियस क्लोजिंग, चाहे आप डेली बेसिस पे देख रहे हो या वीकली बेसिस पे देख रहे हो. एंड जो लॉन्ग या शॉर्ट पोजीशन ये ले रहे हैं उसमें उनका ओपन इंटरेस्ट इंक्रीज हो रहा है या डिक्रीज हो रहा है. कई बार दे आर नेट लॉन्ग बट द ओपन इंटरेस्ट कीप्स डिक्रीजिंग. आई विल एक्सप्लेन ओपन इंटरेस्ट इन मोर डिटेल इन द कमिंग फ्यू स्लाइड्स. पहले एफआई पोजीशनिंग को कैसे देखते हैं वो बता देता हूँ आप लोग को. सो एफआई पोजीशनिंग का डेटा आप लोग को काफी इजीली अवेलेबल रह सकता है. आप गूगल पे सर्च कर सकते हैं या तो वेबसाइट पे देख सकते हैं एनएससी के. या फिर बेस्ट एंड मोस्ट कन्वीनियंट ऑप्शन है जहाँ से मैं खुद देखता हूँ, सो टेलीग्राम आई थिंक सभी यूज करते हैं। टेलीग्राम पे एक चैनल है जिसका नाम आई पोस्ट इन द व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप एज वेल एज द यूट्यूब लिंक। द नेम आई गिव यू राइट नाउ इज, just a second. The name is a bit funny, but it's very effective and worthwhile. Noob stocks space OI space data. तो इसमें आपको ओपन इंटरेस्ट पूरा पता चलेगा एज वेल एज एफआई की पोजीशनिंग भी पता चलेगी। इररिस्पेक्टिव आप कोई भी स्टॉक का कोड डाल दो, इट्स ऑटोमेटिक बॉट, आप डालो, दे विल प्रोवाइड यू विद द डेटा। सो दिस इज वन ऑफ द डेटा दैट आई एक्सट्रैक्टेड फ्रॉम ट्विटर टू बी ऑनेस्ट। सो यू कैन सी इसमें नेट इंडेक्स फ्यूचर करके लिखा है, आई एम पॉइंटिंग आउट माई माउस, net index future FII. So FII का positioning है, you can see the date here. So since 29 September, so 23rd September we remember that Nifty took a really good support near 10,850, 10,900 somewhere. And तभी से Nifty has taken a good like corrective reversal and coming back again. The rally is sustained. So here you can see 24th September तक था FII का index में net future short. Post that, since 25 September, they have been broadly long only. If you take a cumulative data, so they are net 65,572 lots long on the Nifty index futures. And you can also see the high that has been created recently, 11,900 to 11,940-ish, somewhere like that. So it does matter. FI का जिस तरह से positioning होता है, you can always observe it always moves in that direction. Prior to that, you can see from 16 September up till 24 September. You can see the open interest of the net index futures of FIS is negative broadly. Or maybe they have cut their longs. It works either way for them. But the net long, heavy long जो थे वो लोग, they have reduced massively. Minus 1,300, minus 9,000, minus 8,800, minus 9,700. There are some plus data, plus 13, 16,000. But prior to that also they were heavily short, 14,000 lots. So per day उनका net index future data है. So seeing these, I get a really good idea that what the FIs are thinking of. इससे उनका व्यू एक्सप्रेस हो जाता है. Then it doesn't matter what they're saying on CNBC, क्योंकि data speaks everything. इसको आपको डेली बेसिस पे नहीं देखना है, आपको एवरीडे देखोगे तो कंफ्यूजिव हो सकता है. It could be misleading as you can see, but you have to take it on a cumulative weekly basis and compare it with your stocks as well as the index Nifty. The next slide also shows FIs. So this is the data from 10th of October, I think. Yeah, so you can see the FII future index net long, they were 1,04,490 on that day. And the options, maybe उनकी positioning massively रही है. But at the same time, if you see the domestic institution clients, they are short. Now, this happens most of the time that DIIs and retailers are always caught against the FIs and they're getting short squeezed. And if you'll see, the remarks are written, open interest has expanded drastically. The retailers positioning is short and the FIs are increased drastic long exposure in the market. So this practically means bullish, that the market will sustain and they are trying their best. साथ में निफ्टी भी अपना हाई बनाया जा रहा है, 11,900 plus क्रॉस कर लिया. So that's how FII positioning works. And ये आप सिर्फ इंडेक्स में नहीं, आप लोग इसको स्टॉक्स में भी देख सकते हैं. इंडिविजुअली स्टॉक्स जो जिसमें FNO लिस्टेड है, इनकी पोजीशनिंग आपको हमेशा दिखती रहेगी. So that would be quite helpful. Now coming to open interest, I've used this word repeatedly. So what open interest, how it exactly works, I'll explain to you that from the next slide, but I'll just give a brief. So open interest is a number that tells you how many contracts, it could be futures or options, that are currently outstanding in the market. This means that the contracts are open. जैसे कभी भी आप buy कर रहे हो कोई option, so there's always a seller to it. तो आपने 2 लॉट खरीदे और आपको किसी ने 2 लॉट बेचे हैं, समझो आप 2 लोग ही मार्केट में हो, तो ओपन इंटरेस्ट 2 लॉट का है. वैसे ही इसमें से आपने एक लॉट सेल किया और उसी इंसान के सामने आपने उसी को वापस बेच दिया एक लॉट, तो अभी ओपन इंटरेस्ट एक लॉट है. लेकिन अगर मार्केट में 3 लोग आ जाए और आपने पहले इंसान से 2 खरीदे थे और वो बेचे तीसरे इंसान को एक लॉट, तो ओपन इंटरेस्ट अभी भी उतना ही कायम है, क्योंकि जो सेलर था असली, जिसने आपको 2 लॉट बेचे थे, उसके 2 लॉट का एक्सपोजर अभी भी है. तो वो 2 लॉट शॉर्ट है, आप एक लॉट लॉन्ग हो, तीसरे इंसान को आपने जिसको बेचा वो एक लॉट लॉन्ग है. तो इस केस में ओपन इंटरेस्ट 2 रहेगा. मैं इस कंसेप्ट को अच्छे से और एक्सप्लेन करूंगा. So the definition says that there are always two sides to a trade, a buyer and a seller. Let us say the seller sells one contract to the buyer. The buyer is said to be long on the contract and the seller is said to be short. That's how the contract is created between two people. The open interest is said to be one in this case. From the time the buyer or the seller opens the contract until the counterparty closes it, that contract is considered open. जो मैंने आपको एग्जांपल दिया कि जो पहले इंसान था जिससे हमने 2 लॉट खरीदे थे, वो पहला इनिशियल सेलर था. जब तक उसके कम नहीं होंगे लॉट्स, तब तक ओपन इंटरेस्ट 2 कायम रहेगा. तो एक अच्छा सा एग्जांपल लेते हैं इसको और अच्छे से समझने को. सो अज्यूम कीजिए 5 ट्रेडर्स हैं जो निफ्टी फ्यूचर्स में काम कर रहे हैं. लेट्स नेम देम अर्जुन, नेहा, वरुण, जॉन एंड विक्रम. अब इनके डे टू डे ट्रेड्स देखते हैं, एक वीक का ऑब्जर्व करते हैं. तो पहले दिन पे अर्जुन ने खरीदे 6 लॉट्स निफ्टी के एंड वरुण ने खरीदे 4 फ्यूचर्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स निफ्टी के, वाइल नेहा थी जिसने इन दोनों को 10 बेचे हैं. सो 6, 4, 10, इट टैलीज अप, इट ऑलवेज हैज टू टैली. तो इस केस में टोटल ओपन इंटरेस्ट है 10 लॉट का. अब नेक्स्ट डे कम्स ट्यूसडे. नेहा वांट्स टू गेट रिड ऑफ 8 कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स out of the 10 which she holds already. So which she does. So she sells it in the market, 8 stocks, and uske against John comes into the market and takes the 8 contracts from Neha. So इस केस में क्या हुआ है, पोजीशन केवल ट्रांसफर करी है. इनिशियली वरुण और अर्जुन ने खरीदा था, अब जॉन करके प्लेयर आ गया मार्केट में ट्यूसडे को, उसने 8 क्वांटिटी नेहा से हुई है. तो इसमें सिर्फ ट्रांसफर हुआ है, स्टॉक्स बोलो या शेयर्स बोलो. इसमें एक्चुअल में क्लोज नहीं हुई है, अभी भी एक्सपोजर उतना ही है. नेट ओपन इंटरेस्ट 10 होगा इस केस में भी. नाउ कम्स वेडनेसडे. ऑन वेडनेसडे टू द एग्जिस्टिंग 8 शॉर्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स, जॉन को अब और 7 कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बेचने हैं और टोटल उसका एक्सपोजर उसको खुद का करना है 15. लेकिन इसमें वरुण डिसाइड करता है उसका भी लॉन्ग पोजीशन इंक्रीज करने के लिए. तो जॉन सोल्ड 3 कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स टू अर्जुन एंड 2 कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स टू वरुण. तो इसमें 5 और कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स क्रिएट हुए. प्रायरली जो नेहा ने उसको 8 ट्रांसफर किए, उससे अभी और चाहिए. तो इंस्टेड ऑफ ट्रांसफरिंग देयर ओरिजिनल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स टू देम, दे आर बाइंग मोर एंड ही इज सेलिंग मोर. सो इस केस में ओपन इंटरेस्ट इंक्रीज हो गया. सो इफेक्टिवली हम अगर देखेंगे, ओपन इंटरेस्ट इस केस में हो जाता है 15 का. सिमिलरली ऑन थर्सडे विक्रम कम्स एंड ही टेक्स a more massive position. He sells 25 shares. और इसमें जॉन है, उसने 10, उसके जो शॉर्ट थे 15, उसमें से उसने 10 उसको ट्रांसफर किए और बाकी जो 10 थे वो न्यू पोजीशन क्रिएट हुई अगेंस्ट अर्जुन एंड वरुण. तो इस केस में नेट 25 इंक्रीज नहीं होगा ओपन इंटरेस्ट, क्योंकि 10 तो जॉन ने ट्रांसफर किए थे विक्रम को. तो 25 माइनस 10 केवल 15 और इंक्रीज होगा. तो जो वेडनेसडे तक ओपन इंटरेस्ट हमारा 15 था, अब वो 30 हो चुका है. And as you can see on Friday, Arjun and Varun, who were long from the initial stage against Neha, then against John, then against Vikram as well, they have all squared off their positions. They have sold 10 and 10 respectively. And at the same time, simultaneously, out of 25 short contracts, Vikram has bought by 20. तो 10 और 10 इन्होंने कम किया अपना लॉन्ग, 20 इसने कम किया अपना शॉर्ट. तो इसमें स्क्वायर ऑफ कहते हैं इसको. तो इसमें ओपन इंटरेस्ट 30 से हो गया 10. सो इसी तरह से अगर हम एवरीडे बेसिस पे ट्रैक करें इस ओपन इंटरेस्ट को कि एफआईआईज का कैसे ओपन इंटरेस्ट है, या फिर रिटेलर्स का भी इन जनरल ओपन इंटरेस्ट देखे एवरीडे मार्केट में, फ्यूचर्स में एज वेल एज कॉल ऑप्शंस एंड पुट ऑप्शंस में, तो हमें काफी अच्छा आइडिया आ सकता है कि नेक्स्ट प्राइस मूवमेंट किस तरह से हो सकती है. आई विल शो यू अ चार्ट ऑन द नेक्स्ट पेज दैट हाउ इज इट कोरिलेटेड. By the way, you can open interest, you can find on the same Telegram channel that I said, and also on NSE page, जहाँ पे open interest काफी clearly visible है. And more important than open interest is the change in open interest with respect to the previous closing. Similarly, इसको भी you can watch on a daily basis as well as a weekly basis. Depends on what kind of trading you want to be in. Now, open interest के बाद अगर club कर ले volume, so that also is quite important. So as I said initially, that why FI is playing such a massive role, that's because they have the volume power within them, and they can buy and sell in humongous quantity to drive the prices in whichever direction they feel. Volume is everything, whether it be in F&O or cash markets, because volume always represents the force behind a particular price change. Now, when we identify this change with volume and club it with open interest, so you can clearly identify the market trend, whether it's bullish or bearish. Many times we see there have been some really significant trades that some particular script is 8% up, 15% up as well. And if you check the chart, there is a huge volume breakout that's happening usually. So that's why volume is also important. Now, many times we've seen there is an increase in price. People conceive it to be a breakout, but there should be a volume supporting that price movement, be it upward or downward. So there's a simple table. If there is a price increase along with volume increase, it's definitely bullish because there are many players that are buying it. If the price decreases and the volume is also decreasing, means the sizing is not huge that is selling. It could be some minor profit booking or some random player who's hitting the market and driving the price down. So the bearishness could be expected to reversal, but it's still not a strong bullish indication. If the price is decreasing with a rapid increase in volume, that's definitely bearish because again, volume is coming into the picture. Many lots are being sold in the market for that price change. And fourth is the price increases with decrease in volume. So the bullish trend could gradually end. This happens all the time. It's impossible to catch the top or bottom in the market. That's true. But by looking at these indicators, you can definitely get out whether is the right time to book profit in a particular stock. We are wondering whether target is achieved to ho chuka hai. Should we run this more or not? So you can see it clearly by this. So now here I have a chart of open interest and I've clubbed it with the price change. So let's see first this one, the right chart. So here there is a bullish signal with a large price movement as well as open interest is rapidly increasing. So many new positions are being created and it's having with a heavy volume. So it's clearly going up. Now once it has come down and the open interest has also reduced, as the open interest has reduced, the positioning could reverse. So one of my biggest losses that I've ever seen, I have also personally been caught in the open interest play. So I was short on a contract heavily. This happened in European markets with me. And the open interest kept gradually increasing, but I just kept ignoring. And then suddenly volume also came into the picture. Stops got triggered and it was a really bad move. And then there was a research guy on Twitter whose article I read, and I saw that there was a massive increase in open interest just 2 to 3 days prior to this move. So you can see in the left chart also on the top prices where there is extreme, the open interest is usually high open interest at price tops over here. And gradually, as the rapid massive move happens, the stock tumbled rapidly from around 400 to nearly 150-ish, 200, 170, say. The open interest reduced, which also means that people are booking their profits and getting out, as we saw in the previous example. That on the last day when Arjun, Varun, and Vikram finally squared off their position, the open interest reduced. And once the open interest is reduced, you can rely quite a lot that the move that has been happening because of the open interest play, it could reverse, or maybe it is the right time to get out of this. Market spread. This is one of my favorite topic or indication you could see after open interest. Why? Because in March, April, when the sell-off happened, I couldn't catch the dip. Of course, I couldn't. Being a trader since 3 years, so I have that mindset that do not go against the flow. Now, how do I know that the flow is picking up? I did see that Nifty is climbing up again. It is taking support. It is gradually coming up. But are the stocks really picking up? Initially, just the heavyweight and the tech stocks and pharma stocks were picking up. But what about the other sectors? Whether should I go long on banking or not? Whether should I go long on chemical or not? Whether should I get into pharma, auto space? So market breadth is something that can help you. Breadth is it gives you the overall picture of the index, whether it's healthy to get in or not. So I personally got into the market back during this COVID dip was I think May end or I would say maybe June. June start would be the right time because that's when the market breadth started to come in favor. Now what do I mean by that? So first let's see what market breadth really is. Market breadth directly it refers to how many stocks are participating in a given move in an index. Now an index could be rising, yet more than half the stocks in the index are falling because a small number of stocks have such large gains that they drag the whole index higher. इसका मतलब क्या है? हमने सबसे बड़ा एग्जांपल अभी देखा था रिसेंटली, रिलायंस. After touching 900, there was a massive buying happening in Reliance. And after a particular point, no matter whether Nifty, where it went, Reliance wasn't ready to break its ground at all. It was just going up, up and up. But it's not necessarily that at the same time I had Axis Bank holding. It wasn't going that much up. It hasn't been that much up as Reliance has, or maybe say any other engineering company or auto space company. But there have been days where most of my stocks were either flattish or slightly up or maybe even down. Maybe down is what I would say. But Reliance was up consistently without any fail. So in the simplest form, you need to see the ratio. रेशियो कौन सा लोगे आप? एडवांस कितने हो रहे हैं आपके स्टॉक्स, कितने स्टॉक्स ऊपर जा रहे हैं एज कम्पेयर टू कितने स्टॉक्स डिक्लाइन हो रहे हैं. This ratio definitely has to be more than one, and actually not just one. One is just a starting move. That's when you know that the other stocks are also rallying and not just one particular stock. When many stocks are rallying up instead of one, and it's happening on a consistent basis, market where daily आप check कर सकते हैं. So then is that's when you realize that the rally could sustain. Sustainability is quite important in this. Now there are few kind of indicators. Market breadth is a concept, but there are indicators which show you the market breadth. So one such concept is ADL, Advanced Decline Line. ADL is the simplest market breadth indicator that I personally follow. And also the other is Cumulative Volume Index. Hello, Panica. Can you hear me, Lalit?
Yeah, you're audible.
Is the chart visible?
No, the chart isn't visible. Only the market bed is visible.
Just a second. My internet connection from my presenting screen went away. Now is it visible?
No. I think you might have to rejoin.
I'll have to rejoin. Still not visible?
It is not.
It is not. Okay. I'll rejoin it. Just give me a minute.
Anyways, the topic is pretty good. Open interest and market breadth. Because a lot of people
Yeah.
did miss that March dip. Even I was expecting that, okay, market is not going to catch up, but eventually it
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, eventually it did, and the data showed it pretty well that so there are many ways. One, some people like to see the moving average.
Right.
Some people like to just see volumes rising along with moving average breaking. But on a broad basis, I personally find market breadth was one of the bestest indicators because uh, you can see like literally many stocks are rising instead of declining. In the start, that wasn't the case. Only the heavyweights were rising. That's what I think happened in Nasdaq as well. Nasdaq and S&P. Only the tech stocks were rising initially. और फिर पीछे से आपके सारे दूसरे जो इंजीनियरिंग स्टॉक्स है, ऑटो स्टॉक्स है, वो सब हुए. इसमें
Yeah, because
फंडामेंटल भी था कि कोविड है तो रिकवरी में टाइम लगेगा. बट आपको कैसे पता चलेगा कि एक्चुअल में दिस इज द राइट टाइम टू एंटर? तो इसमें डेटा को फॉलो करना सबसे बेस्ट आई थिंक रहता होगा.
Let me know, Yash, when you are up with your link so that I can stop the sharing. You can start sharing then.
My laptop internet is not working. Can you do one thing? Can
right.
you, if you have the presentation, can you showcase it? I'll tell you which page and just next you have to click.
Yeah, sure. Just
I'll do that. Just
you'll do that. and even the concept of open interest too. And the main thing
Can
was a
you see
lot.
it now?
Yeah,
Yeah, Amit,
Which
go
slide
down,
do you
go
want
down.
me to go to?
ये जो चार्ट है ना, चार्ट दिख रहा है, ये चार्ट पे क्लिक कर लो.
14th, right?
14th, yes, yes. नीचे आ जाओ, मार्केट बेट उसके नीचे वाला. नेक्स्ट. Yeah, advanced decline.
This one, right?
Yeah, we can start here, market breadth. Yeah.
You can start speaking.
Okay. So there are three indicators in market breadth concept. So one would be ADL, as I speak about. The other two that I have showcased on the screen is one is CVI, which is cumulative volume index, and the other is OBV. So you can see in the this that I've indicated the downtrend, which is confirming the decline that is about to happen. This is the S&P ETF listed in the London markets through depository receipts. So इसमें clearly आप देख सकते हैं कि जब rise होने को try कर रहा था index, the market breadth was quite flattish, which clearly was indicated that it's not really sustaining that much. But as the market breadth kept gradually going down, the index fell rapidly. And after the dip, the market breadth gradually started rising up again, and so did the index as well. So basically, what this tells you is that no matter whether the index is rising or not, it clearly pinpoints you that whether you should be buying the stocks that much or not, whether they will have that much momentum as the index is. So it gives you a clear picture whether you should be in like putting in your money right now in the cash market or not. So that's where market breadth plays a real picture, and also whether just the heavyweights are playing or is it the right time for small caps and mid caps also to pick up. And actually, it's not just restricted to small cap or mid cap. It is in general, you'll see that whether only the heavyweights that are putting a major weight on the index, they are rapidly going to be increasing only. तो ऐसा होता है कि समझो मार्केट आपका ऊपर जा रहा है, अभी करेक्शन जब लेगा तब रिलायंस इतना नीचे नहीं आएगा, उसमें प्रॉफिट बुकिंग होगी, थोड़ा डिप लेगा, थोड़ा करेक्ट होगा, लेकिन ब्रॉडली इसमें सपोर्ट मेंटेन रहता है. बट काफी दूसरे स्टॉक्स होते हैं जो काफी पिट जाते हैं, एंड अननेसेसरी हमारा बाय प्राइस है वो ऊपर का रह जाता है, एंड देन व्हेन इज द राइट टाइम वी आर ऑलरेडी लॉन्ग एंड ऑल इन एक्चुअली. So market breadth can help you a lot. So इसमें most of the time that's what I use is either ADL line or CVI. These two. Amit, can you switch to the next slide? Amit, hello.
Amit,
Yeah,
are you
I've
there?
changed the slide.
Next slide. It's ADR in Nifty.
Just a minute. This is the slide ADR and Nifty.
Yeah, the next slide. 16th one.
Which one can you name it?
The very next line. 18th one. Slide 18. This is 17th.
Yeah,
Yes, this
ADR,
is
right?
correct. Yes, this is correct. So this is also applicable in index as well, ADR. So it is also comparing the number of stocks that closed higher against the number of stocks that closed lower than the previous day's closing. So I'll repeat again and again that these indicators that you're watching, the previous day closing matters. कि previous day की closing पे जो आपका था open interest हो चाहे या फिर ADR आप देख रहे हो, आप कोई भी ये कंसेप्ट देख रहे हो, प्रीवियस डे से कंपेयर करो कि इंक्रीज हुआ है या डिक्रीज हुआ है, इट इज ऑलवेज रिलेटिव. सो इन दिस आल्सो यू कैन सी, आई विल टेल यू व्हिच डेट, जस्ट अ सेकंड. So in June month, when the ADR was quite high, around 8, you can see a really good rise in the index. And that's when even the stocks rose a lot, significantly. Before that, when the dip happened, March end and April start, you can see Nifty did come up, but the ADR was low, which meant that only the heavyweights are pulling up the index and not all the stocks. All in general, the other stocks that people usually like to trade or buy and which people think are fundamentally sound and good, but all were not rising. Only the heavyweights were pulling up. But in May and in June, you can see the ADR was relatively high. And that's when the Nifty did go up, but also the other stocks that you would buy, say the chemical sector, the IT sector, everything went up. Chemical took a really good rally. Initially, it was just the big FMCG, HUL, Nestle, Reliance was there, and some pharma companies and some testing healthcare companies. They were going up initially, but then the rally happened in chemicals, then in finance also private banks picked up. So all that happened gradually after May and June, and that was clearly indicated by ADR being so high. Then again in August start we had a slight dip, and between that time end July to August start the ADR was low, but then again ADR picked up, and also the Nifty took a good support. You can see in the moving average, the third indicator that I've put with a red mark near 10,800 horizontal level. Nifty took a good support there, and vertically below you can see ADR being marked in August. So that's also where Nifty went up, and more importantly, the stocks, the other stocks, apart from the heavyweights, they also took a really very good leap. So that's when you can identify that yeah, the trend is sustainable, and this is a good correction that has come for the benefit of me. And अभी मुझे खरीदना चाहिए अगर खरीदना ही है तो. So this was when you should be entering and whether the trend is sustainable right now or not. Amit, can you go to the next slide? Sector-wise momentum. Slide 19.
Yeah, should be up.
Yeah. So sector-wise momentum using PCR. So Mr. Vaibhav Jain has like very wonderfully explained us options in our previous Tradia webinar. So using the understanding of option of what's happening in the option market, this is a concept called PCR. So put call ratio. So इसमें ratio क्या है? आपके put options में कितना काम हुआ है? The traded amount in the puts and the open interest that has increased or decreased divided by the call options का data. तो it जो रेशियो है इट हेल्प्स यू इन अंडरस्टैंडिंग के काम मार्केट में किस में ज्यादा हो रहा है, पुट्स में हो रहा है या कॉल्स में हो रहा है. नाउ वी हैव विटनेस्ड दैट इन कोविड मेनी सेक्टर्स वर देयर व्हिच हैव आउटपरफॉर्म द इंडेक्स मैसिवली, से फार्मा, API manufacturers, chemical manufacturers, FMCG, forget ITC, it's an exception. उसमें FIS का positioning is not in favor, as you can see. You all can check on the website. In fact, I'll post it on the group that ITC में FIS का positioning इतना favor नहीं है. That's why it's not really going on. But at the same time, some of the other holding stocks like say PVR, even after fundamentally being cleared of all the nice years, it should have came up. So is SpiceJet or many NBFCs and PSU banks also, but none of them come up. And it is clearly visible seeing that the PCR data, कि options market में क्या काम हो रहा है इनमें, put options में या call options में कितनी writing हो रही है massively या किस तरफ writing हो रही है, put options में या call options में, as well as compare it with open interest that is there in the futures and FI positioning. So when you combine all three of them, so you get a clear understanding of whether the sector broadly is bullish or not. So if Nifty is taking a support, which sector should I buy for the best result? Or let's say if Nifty is quite high and some of my stocks are up, but they are not showing a very rapid bullish trend. So which are the sectors which I need to book the profits and which should I hold long? So this is something that could help you out. Amit, the next slide, please. Slide number 20, I think.
Let me know when you see it.
Yes, I see this. Can you expand it? Presentation play का slideshow button दबा सकते हैं?
Is it visible?
No, Amit, slideshow नहीं दिख रहा है.
8 minutes. I think there's some issue. I'll just do it again.
Yeah. So ये एक बहुत अच्छा डेटा मैट्रिक्स है. इसमें काफी चीजें आपको एक साथ में दिख जाएगी कि ऑप्शंस में क्या चेंज हुआ है, ओवरऑल ओपन इंटरेस्ट में, एज वेल एज PCR में कितना चेंज हुआ है, एज वेल एज प्राइस में. एंड दिस इज
Is it
रेडिली
visible
अवेलेबल.
now, Yash?
Full screen नहीं अवेलेबल है, but I think people can see this.
Okay.
I think it should work fine. तो ये 1 अक्टूबर का डेटा है. सो इसमें यू कैन सी देर आर मेनी कॉलम्स. सो सबसे फर्स्ट कॉलम में सेक्टर्स दिए हुए हैं, एयरलाइंस, अल्कोहल, ऑटो, सीमेंट, फाइनेंस. फाइनेंस में भी अलग अलग टाइप, वेदर इट इज पीएसयू, प्राइवेट, एनबीएफसीज में हाउसिंग है, क्या है, एफएमसीजी, फ्रेट, गैस, मेटल्स, माइनिंग, power, telecom, real estate. Sector-wise analysis is there. So there is this PCR count is there, the second column. The third is price change velocity. Okay, how rapidly is the price changing up? How much has the sector been up on a particular day? The third column is volatility change. The volatility. The fourth is call option open interest change. Fourth is put option. Amit, presentation
Yeah,
चला
yeah,
गया.
yeah. Just
This I'll just say. Fourth is put option. Then there is PCR change. PCR as I explained to you all. Put option में कितना काम हो रहा है divide by call option में कितना काम हो रहा है. And this is always day to day basis पे कि कल को लेके आज में कितना changes इसमें आया है as compared to this में. And the last is PCR trend. So let's just take any two examples. Let's take a finance, banks, private. अमित आप उस पर क्लिक कर सकते हो, फाइनेंस बैंक्स प्राइवेट पे हाईलाइट हो जाएगा.
what I'll do is I'll just share my entire window. That should be that should do it actually. I think what is happening right now is yeah. Can you see the entire screen now?
या आई कैन. आप उस पर सिर्फ कर्सर ला सकते हैं, फाइनेंस बैंक्स प्राइवेट. इट इज बिलो केमिकल्स एंड कंज्यूमर गुड्स. सबसे पहला फाइनेंस बैंक्स
Yeah.
प्राइवेट.
Yeah.
हाँ. एंड
So
जस्ट कीप
you
गोइंग.
should find an option, Yash, on top. It would read annotate. Just click that. You should get a pen there to make changes onto the slide directly. Can you do that? I'll do it for you. No worries.
मैं फोन से कर रहा हूँ एक्चुअली.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll do it.
Yeah, so you can see finance banks private, right? So the first thing you need to see is the price, whether the price is up or not, like significantly. So 4.55% we can see. So yeah, it is quite up. Second is how volatile is the sector. So the volatility is there as compared to the others, but not very high. So that's again a plus point. The third and the fourth column, call option open interest as well as the put option interest. Now you need to understand this, that when I say that FIs play a very huge like role in the markets, and also when you see the open interest. So what is happening that even DI, big institutions in India, big banks as well as the FIs, they are not the option buyers primarily. They are buying them as an insurance against their futures positioning most of the time. And I think most will agree this. But they do the writing part. Insurance writing में ज़्यादा पैसा है rather than buying an insurance. They like to eat up the premiums in a direction where they are quite sure and it could be favorable to them. And it is easier to take a positioning against what most retailers think. The most retailer concept is कि मैं option premium खरीद लेता हूँ. Worst case में मेरा loss तो इतना ही है. Best case में पता नहीं बहुत ज़्यादा बन जाएगा. And the other thing is the margins also required to write these options is huge. So it is always favorable for them to write options. तो व्हेन आई एम सेइंग कि पीसीआर डेटा देखो, तो अगर मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि पुट्स में बहुत काम हुआ है, तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि ऑफ कोर्स इट मींस कि बहुत पुट्स बाय किए लोगों ने, बट एज आई शोड यू इन द फर्स्ट 5 स्लाइड्स कि यूजुअली डीआईज आर गेटिंग लाइक टेरिबली हैमर्ड बाय द एफआईआईज इन द ओपन इंटरेस्ट. आप देखोगे या पोजिशनिंग देख लो एफआईआईज की कैसे है, और जो ट्रेंड देख लोगे, पहले एफआईआईज का पोजीशन क्या था, निफ्टी काम हुआ, फिर एफआईआईज का पोजीशन किस तरफ से हुआ, और निफ्टी ग्रेजुअली 11,900 तक वापस आ गया, ऑलमोस्ट 1000 पॉइंट का मूव आ गया. और उसमें जैसे जैसे ऊपर आ रहा था, एंड आई हैव टॉक टू माय फ्रेंड्स एंड इवन मी as a trader, sometimes we just end up being against them and just like buying options, and it's very favorable for them to write these options. They just keep backing the bids and the market comes down. The option ladder, sorry, the put option ladder, it keeps going down. So I'm at the end expiry पे almost zero-ish हो जाता है, and that's when we are exiting. That's when their profits are getting booked. So if you see finance banks private, the option open interest increase 54%, call option में increase and 77%. So you need to see कि put options का जो open interest है वो काफी highly increase हो रहा है as compared to call option, plus price has increased quite a lot, 4.55%, one of the most highest among all the sectors. That's why I chose this sector to show. थर्ड थिंग इज वोलेटिलिटी. वोलेटिलिटी अगर ये सब में अगर जितना जीरो इसके बाजू में हो, इट इज मोर फेवरेबल. द फोर्थ थिंग इज कि पुट ऑप्शन का ओपन इंटरेस्ट ज्यादा मैसिवली इंक्रीज हो रहा है एज कम्पेयर टू कॉल ऑप्शन, बिकॉज these people are writing put options a lot. Means they are building a trend for the bullishness. Put option, as I think Revo might have explained in the previous webinar, that put option buy करना है क्या, तो मतलब है कि आप bet कर रहे हो मार्केट नीचे जाएगा, वैसा आप फेवर में चाहते हो. लेकिन पुट ऑप्शन जब ये लोग राइट कर रहे हैं बड़े इंस्टीट्यूशन हमें, सो वी आर बाइंग देम, सो ऑफकोर्स वो लोग अपोजिट पोजीशन ले रहे हैं और उनके फेवर में होगा जब बुलिश होगा. So prices increases, volatility is not high, put option open interest is increasing, means these option writers are massively writing more contracts in the put options. As well as you can see the PCR change velocity is the most, not the most actually, but third highest you could say, 11.77%. So this clearly indicates to me that the banks have been like very bullish. And also since 1st October, I think banking stocks have performed well. I personally bought, I think Axis Bank around 404 somewhere, and it's quite not quite up, I would say, but around 435 to 440 something it is up. ICICI Bank also gave a good rise. Someone also in the Tradia group had recommended buying ICICI Bank, Bandhan Bank, RVL Bank. All these banks have come up nice. So this does help. Now let's take one more example. वेदांता काफी हिट है आजकल, तो मेटल्स ले लेते हैं. Metals would be bottom say 9th line from the bottom, guys. Metals. So metals may also you can see the price is up, volatility has decreased. Now this is the most favorable situation, that price is up, vol is coming down, and again the put option open interest is not very much higher than the call option open interest change, but it is higher end, and the PCR is also 4.94%. So this sector also bullish, I would say, metals also. So this chart you can, it's easily available on Twitter. I personally also post on the Tradia group sometimes. So the handle name I've written on the top, it's credit goes to at the trade underscore with underscore data. So trade with data. So there's this trader, this whom I know, Santosh Singh. So he every day at the end of the market, he posts this. So on a everyday basis, even if you just take out some time and just look at this, you can identify which sectors are booming, which sectors are not, what to go with, what not to go with. वॉल किस में ज्यादा है तो ऑप्शन में उसमें प्ले लेना चाहिए क्या मुझे, तो वोलेटिलिटी फैक्टर कितना हेल्प करेगा मुझे, फिर फ्यूचर्स में पोजीशनिंग लूँ या ऑप्शंस में लूँ, कितना फेवरेबल है कि ओपन इंटरेस्ट कौन से ऑप्शन में बढ़ रहा है, ये सब एक साथ में सेक्टर वाइज आपको पता चल जाएगा. एंड इफ यू वांट अ पर्टिकुलर स्टॉक रिलेटेड ओपन इंटरेस्ट डेटा, so I gave you a Telegram channel bot है, you can just put in the message of the stock and you'll get a proper chart and video explaining that what's happening in this stock, how the open interest is increasing and how to interpret it as well. अमित नेक्स्ट स्लाइड पे ले सकते हो. अमित
Yes, I'm trying to.
नेक्स्ट स्लाइड.
Let me know when it shows you the next slide.
Not yet. So basically, these are the four things that I look at. Yeah, it is visible. So FI positioning, that comes the top priority for me because I like to be with the big fish. And of course, guys, all of this have come to me after losing money. बस खून चढ़ाने के बाद ही आपको पता चलेगा कि what's happening in the market. So I have been caught against huge buyers and sellers in the European as well as the US markets. Like the open interest has been showing that it's going to go again. Still, I haven't got out. There is a huge buyers and seller lots being traded in the futures as well as the options space. And the market breadth also. It not exactly works well in the bond market that I trade, but still you can see which bonds are going, which bonds are not going. So उसी logic से market breadth I would say कि कौन से stocks जा रहे हैं, कौन से stocks नहीं जा रहे, पता चल जाएगा आपको किस में आपको participate करना चाहिए, कौन सा sector आपके फेवर में होगा. So this is a relative strength scanner. So FI position you need to see कि position क्या है derivatives में उनकी, net short है या long है वो लोग. Second is relative strength by seeing sectoral breadth, market breadth, sector wise as well as a whole index wise. पहले तो index का देख लो, index का हो गया तो उसके बाद relative आप sector wise भी देख सकते हो, market breadth as well as using the PCR that I showed in the previous slide. you can like get an idea just of it, whether it's bullish or bearish. And of course, all these things will come to you. It is not very difficult. लगता है कि एक साथ में numbers है, इसे tough लगता है. But if you look at it 5 times, 10 times, and see the correlation with the market and the prices, so eventually आपको उसका hang लग जाएगा. So after seeing whether the index is rising, stocks is also rising. So which sector to get into, that's what you should see. You can also club in moving average as a very simple concept, a moving average. You can read about it on Investopedia, or maybe some of our other traders would take a webinar on it. उसके साथ क्लब कर लो, ओपन इंटरेस्ट देख लो, पोजीशनिंग देख लो, ऑप्शंस में कैसा है, वो आपको एनएससी में भी मिल जाएगा, एंड द टेलीग्राम बॉट दैट आई सेड. And finally, trade initiation, look at your market risk, whether a stock is too much saturated, whether the volumes are also increasing with the price that I said, is the open interest reducing gradually or not. So just keep these things. If not taking a trade, it can also help you exit a trade many a times. Maybe get out of some trades. So say recently it happened with me in Bajaj Finance. So Bajaj Finance were nearly 3450, and looking at the open interest data and the options positioning data, puts का positioning देख के काफी लग रहा था, calls and options दोनों का positioning देख के काफी evident strong conviction था. So I showed you 16 September से 23 September का जो data था, 4th या 5th slide में. Similarly, Bajaj Finance का भी वैसी data available था. So I got out of my holding that I had, and then again it seemed very favorable to enter again at 3050ish, 3060, and now it's I think again up around 3350. So these things help in swing trading, intraday trading, as well as from an investment point of view, whether you should be long in the market right now or not, and if you should be, then which sector. So these things could help you a lot broadly, I think, trading with data. So that's all from my side, and I'm now open to some questions if you all have any.
Right. So I'll take up the first question. Ravichand Nawal has asked, ADR, how do you read this indicator? I can see spikes prior to March as well. So I'll just, I think I'll shift to that slide. Maybe that will help.
ADR Nifty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I personally use TradingView, Ravi. On TradingView indicator, you can easily add ADR लिख लो, आ जाएगा. इसमें ADR में now you need to club sometimes more than one or more indicators. Sometimes they are not easily reliable on themselves. So जैसे moving average है, उसके साथ club कर लो. बाद में FII का positioning है. So all these things you should club together. That's first thing. Prior to March, just a second.
I think he's talking about the February के just
2000, yeah. No, not
sorry.
February. I think before that,
Actually,
in January. But that's also a time when we had a very good bull run in the S&P as well as Nifty. And the stocks, most of them were like on the all-time high only before the March fall. Many stocks were quite up. So ADR usually you should see as a indicator to help you understand whether ADR is something like market में bullishness आपका है, आपका index बता रहा है आपको bullish है, लेकिन उसके बाद whether other stocks apart from heavyweight will they increase or not, that's where ADR really helps you. So I personally use this in June to identify when to buy the other sectoral stocks now or not. Initially I was just long Reliance, but then I shifted my money to other stocks as well. So that's when ADR will help you primarily.
Right. So another question that I personally have. So which of these indicators that you have spoken about, which of them is the most reliable in this case, and how do you use it in tandem with each other? Meaning, how do you mix and match these indicators to check the?
Yeah. Okay. So the second last slide that I said,
I'll just
that I referred to a Twitter ID, trade with data.
This one is
where
it?
there are many numbers. Second last, slide 20. Yes, this is correct.
This one, right? Okay.
This is one of them that I use, and an easier version of this is, I'll tell you which slide. Slide number 5, I think. Yeah. So slide number 5, that's a much simpler for the layman term to understand what's happening in the market.
This one is it? The one that you're seeing now?
Next. This is also still complicated. This is the most easiest one, I think, that one could use to understand.
The derivative percentage one?
Yeah, this one only. कि
Okay.
एफ आई आईज एंड डी आईज के रिस्पेक्ट में पोजिशनिंग कैसा है. यू कैन सी इसमें लेफ्ट साइड में इंडेक्स डेटा फ्यूचर डेटा जो है. तो डी आईज आर मैसिवली शॉर्ट. दे आर लॉन्ग जस्ट 2000 लॉट्स एंड दे आर शॉर्ट 35,000 लॉट्स. But on the other hand, FIs, you can say they are more long as compared to short. And the net, today's net long or short, if you see, that's where the main crux is. 55,461 lots, they are long alone, FIs. And उसका सारा
Right.
open interest खपा गया है किसके सामने? DIs of other clients. So this is shared by someone else. I don't prepare this myself. I just go on Twitter and search for the data. And you can see like FIS ka positioning massively long है. So whenever FIS are massively long, so I never try to like go short in the market कि चलो अभी बहुत ऊपर आ गया है, crisis लग रहा है, US election पे बेच देता हूँ, वैसा नहीं. Unless they are selling, I don't initiate the selling. Let
So
them sell first, then I'll anticipate it.
I have one more
So this is
question, and
to,
then maybe the others can
yeah,
ask. So
yeah,
this is actually it's more psychological, I would say. So when you say that the FIIs are net
yeah.
long, that would mean
Hmm.
that a lot of the FIIs are in the market. They have bought a lot of. They are basically in the market. They have a lot of positions in the market, right?
Yes.
So wouldn't it be a better view to go contrarian against them? Like after a
To go
certain point of
contrary.
after you reach a certain level of
Yeah,
open interest, meaning
yeah,
when they so they'll have to get out of these positions, right? So when they have to
yes,
get out of these positions, when they start
correct.
unwinding these positions, the fall would be as massive as the fall or the rise would be as massive as the
Yes.
amount that they have in
So
the open.
that's where the price and volume comes into the picture. Price plus volume plus open interest. So that's where you need to look at whether you want to keep the rallying sustaining or do you want to exit it. तो आपका volume gradually decrease होते जा रहा है price increase के साथ. So it's a clear indication that it is not very sustainable कि retailers अभी इसको चढ़ाए जा रहे हैं. After the positioning has been taken, बाद में
Right.
retailers ही इसको निकालने और चढ़ाए जा रहे हैं. तो प्राइस वॉल्यूम आ गया प्लस ओपन इंटरेस्ट क्या हो रहा है. अगर ओपन इंटरेस्ट अगर आप देख रहे हो कि ग्रेजुअली इसमें कम हो रहा है, so that means unwinding शुरू हो रहा है. So that's when you need to get down. So being in the market, you also know that you can never catch the bottom or the top.
Yeah, sure.
So it's better to enter once you see that they have started accumulating, or exit seeing that once they are starting to unwind. Another thing is if you want to be a little bit, you want a leading indicator rather than lagging. So I would say volume. Everyday volume speaks for itself. That's what I would club. So usually I use all of them in tandem with each other to get a broader perspective.
All right.
And also I said looking at the market breadth, which sector should I be long or short in? So जैसे NBFCs मुझे बेचने थे, जैसे Bajaj Finance I had sold, but I did not sold FMCG or my Sun Pharma holding because it did not come that much down. In fact, slight bullishness made rapidly climbed up again. Aurobindo Pharma, Biocon. These I did not cut, but others I had to cut, and I got back in again when I had the indication that it's gonna pick up, maybe pick up again.
Right. Okay. All right, guys. So does anyone else have a doubt?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I have a doubt. So, my doubt is basically on more on the psychological side. So, I have
Yeah,
seen that
Divyansh.
Yash has mentored many traders. So, I would just like to ask that what would be the advice to that he'll give to someone who has just started trading, like 1 or 2, 3 months back, and also like how do you
Right,
create the watch list for the stock if you are day trading in Indian markets?
right. So watchlist would be watchlist would clearly say that what kind of stocks are you wanting to trade, whether it's the large cap, the mid cap, or the small cap penny stocks. Secondly, whether do you want to be trading stocks which have FNO listed on them because they could be really very volatile. So that's up to you. You need to decide कि FNO में आपको करना है या आपको cash में swing trading करना है. So personally, मेरा options trading is very low in the markets and I usually trade in cash only. So swing side से trade करता हूँ. Thirdly, which sectors are my favorite? What kind of sectors I want to be trading in, which I'm finding reliable. And then in those sectors, you need to do analysis on which kind of stocks. जैसे let's say about banking. So banking में I like Axis Bank a lot. There are many reasons to it. HDFC Bank है, HDFC Limited है. Basically HDFC Twins. Axis Bank is there. ICICI I don't trade. trade because I have a fundamental issue with that stock regarding the NPAs and the management. So I never like to be long on that stock when the market is bullish. Pharma में हो गया तो pharma में Aurobindo Pharma I prefer more over Cadila Pharma or Sun Pharma. So like this, you need to create a list. Which kind of sectors do you want to trade? What market cap stocks you want? Whether should they be large cap or large cap mid cap mix? And what kind of stocks do you want? जैसे ऑटो में भी बहुत सारे स्टॉक्स हैं. ऑटो प्ले करना है आपको तो आप जरूरी नहीं है कि सिर्फ मारुति लेके आप रहे या आइशर मोटर्स लेके रहे आप या फिर सिर्फ बजाज ऑटो. यू कैन ऑल्सो गो विद दी ऑटो एंसिलरी. So my personal belief is कि auto sales जैसे अभी कोविड का टाइम है. I'm very uncomfortable with buying car manufacturers, but I'm very comfortable buying Exide or Amara Raja batteries on the dip, or say auto ancillary parts, the parts which people would still like to keep replacing, say windows hai, windshields hai, tires hai, something like that. So it's about your belief and trust also that comes into the picture, but also see whether do you want to play futures and options or not. Because futures and options जो भी stocks के listed होते हैं, those stocks tend to be a bit volatile because of so much speculation trading happening in FNO market. Those stocks tend to be more volatile as compared to the other cash stocks.
Just to be legally correct here, these opinions are opinions
These
of
opinions
Yash.
are purely mine.
India does not hold any
Let's be clear
responsibility for
on
any
this.
of these opinions.
Yes,
Right. So,
disclaimer is very important.
Lalit has a question. What is your charts telling about the market trends in the coming months?
In the coming months.
Those are trade secrets,
so,
Lalit. Trade secrets are not supposed to be shared ideally, but that's fine.
I'll
I
just
think.
give a view. I can just give a slide view. I could be terribly wrong also. So the slide which is Amit shared recently,
Yash, I think your
just
voice
seeing the
is.
data and not my personal lunch.
Yeah, now it's fine. Now it's fine.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yeah, you're fine now.
Yeah. So the slide that is being shown right now, 10th October. So on a broad basis, you can see that FI is a heavily long. Even in the PCR chart that I showed, that's from 1st October. And I also have the latest PCR chart that I'll share on the group. Amit can share with you all on YouTube link on how to get those charts. You can see that options interest.
I think, Yash, we are losing you again.
The market is, yeah, now am I a bit audible?
Yeah, it's audible now.
So looking this data that is visible on the screen, it is like quite bullish. Also, US elections is around the corner, so you need to keep a check whether S&P holds its ground or not. If S&P is not holding its ground, then it could be a bloodbath. But I don't really see a reason for that. But fundamentally, many things are much better than before. The market is being supported quite well. We have seen dips happening and massive sell-off वाला जो sentiment है लोगों में 2 से 3 बार आ चुका है already. I think अगस्त में आया था, वापस सितंबर एंड में भी ट्राई हुआ है वो चीज, but market has always bought the dip. And I personally feel it's gonna be like really a good run for the next 12 to 18 months at least per se. But that's my view. And of course, as the data changes, you need to change your view as well. अगर FIs बेच रहे तो तुमको खरीद के नहीं बैठना. Even you should start booking profit and wait for a good correction, a very good healthy correction to get back in the market.
That's really insightful, Yash. Guys, anyone else has a doubt? You can just switch on your mics and you can just start speaking. Vipin, maybe do you have a doubt, Vipin?
Yeah, Amit, I do not have any doubt as such, but maybe later, yeah, because there are a lot of new indicators even for me.
Yeah. That's why actually we took this topic, because it's more psychological, I would say, because you see the numbers, it's like watching the cards unfold on a poker game, so you know what is happening on.
Yeah.
So you just
It
have
is the clarity है, ये पूरा truth है, मतलब naked truth है market का. ये जो data है, numbers है, it tells you clearly. आपका view चाहे कुछ भी हो कि ऐसा होगा वैसा होना चाहिए, मेरा gut feel ये बोल रहा है, but this tells you clearly that what is happening, what others think.
Yep.
Market के जो driving forces है, what they think, that is available in the number.
Right. Yeah. And I think Yes, you used a very good word, that getting the hang of all the data.
Yeah,
So
it will take you
more,
time. It will take you 10 to
yeah,
15 times to compare. But once you get it, I can tell you, whenever you get a recommendation, whenever you see anything, you look at the chart, you look at the data, the market, what the market positioning is there, and then you'll enter.
makes sense.
All right,
These
guys.
things should help you catch better prices to enter and exit. That's what I think.
If no one else has a doubt, we'll just wind it up. Uh, I'm sure you all must be wanting to go to your IPL matches also soon. So,
Yeah.
we have decided to keep it shorter, as short as possible. So I think if no one else has a doubt, I'll just give you to 10-15 seconds. If no, then we'll just wind this up.
Yeah. Also, you all can contact me later. Also, you all can ask for my
Yash is
number from
Yash is
Amit.
there on
I'm
the.
available on
He's very
WhatsApp.
active. He's very active on the chat group as well. For those who don't know about the chat, we have a WhatsApp chat group. You can contact me directly, and you can come. You can my contact number, Tradia, all the other contact numbers that you want are all available online on all our channels. So you can just go to the channel and just contact us, and we would add you to the group. There are some regulations around it, but that is completely fine. Uh, if that is all that we have, then I'll just wrap it up. Thanks a lot, Yash. The entire presentation was extremely insightful, even for me, frankly. Like you and I both work together, and it has been,
Yeah, I guess.
you have been telling me about these data sets, but to watch them happen live, that's actually pretty insightful. So that's been it's been a
Even
wonderful.
I've been actually not very old to all this. It's new
Right.
for me also. And yeah, it's better. Thanks for the opportunity to present
That's
on
perfectly
Tradia.
fine. Welcome, Yash. All right, guys. You should find our the entire webinar, so you can share it with your friends and family if you want to. If any one of them is interested to join the group, you can just tell them also. In the meantime, I'll also put out our the association that we have with Pixiu. You can just go to their site. I have put it out on the Zoom chat. If you just look at the website, you should find some really good features there. There are multiple videos that you can learn from. There's an entire society that they're trying to build, the trading society that they're trying to build. You should find a lot of news coming out. So it's a pretty brilliant site. Just go to the site, and hopefully it helps you in your trading. On that note, I'll just wrap it up. Thanks a lot, guys, for coming to the webinar, and I hope you had Yash Shreyan says there were lots of useful information in the process. Uh, all right, guys. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Have a great Sunday. Goodbye.
Thank you, Yash. Bye.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys, for coming.